Hello, everybody. This is coming to you from the White Rabbit Militia, Illinois Patriot Freedom Fighters. We're going to talk for just a minute about what's wrong with conservatism and the right militia movement right now. I would say the biggest problem we have is that we've taken the wrong lesson away from the Trump victory. Yes, we won one election with Mr. Trump, and he's doing a fairly good job. But he's just one man. He's just one office holder. And we should have accepted that as a victory and then pushed forward. We have an agenda. We have a philosophy. We have an obligation to restore our American way of life so that our children can enjoy the freedoms that we enjoyed in our youth and that our fathers and our grandfathers enjoyed. That's what we're all about. That's what we need to be doing, not celebrating little victories or anything like that. We need to be pushing forward. We need to be addressing the difficult problems that our society is facing right now because of the encroachment of socialism and Marxism in our country. We've got a situation where we have, in many cases, police run amok. Yes, there's lots of fine police officers. It's an honorable profession. I served myself for a time. But no, it is not going in a good direction. This country is leaning towards a police state. We've got NSA, FBI, wiretapping a candidate for the President of the United States. We've got the government interfering in our elections. Forget about Russian interference. We've got U.S. government interference in the election. This deep state thing is out of hand and needs to be strangled right now. It needs to be put away. We don't need secret police in the United States monitoring people. The other thing we've got is we've got police that are politically involved. We saw that right in our town, that they came in here and mobbed us because they didn't like our message, because they didn't like what we were doing. And we still, will they lock us up, throw us in some terror hole somewhere? Maybe so. They can, they've got a lot of power. And in comparison, the people are much stronger, but the people aren't standing up because the people are looking over their shoulder at the Trump election and saying, oh, wow, things are great. We elected Trump. No, things aren't great. Things are terrible. Look at Mr. Trump himself. He needs our support. If he's going to achieve his goals, the American people are going to have to stand up and take responsibility for what needs to happen. We'll have to take the government into our own hands and take it away from the liberals in academia and their lapdogs in the Bar Association. This country is on the wrong track, and it's getting worse every day. Are they trying to go door to door and seize our guns? Well, they're seizing some of them. They seized a few guns the other day in Clarence, Illinois. But is that really what's going to happen? No, they're going to boil that frog in a pot, degree by degree, just as we've heard so many times. It's going to be a situation where they raise the age, they make it a little harder, they cut down the number of people who are eligible to own firearms, they talk about background checks, they talk about tightening of availability, tightening these rules. Friends, they're a lot tighter than they've ever been, and it's not solving the violence problem. We need to look to what we're doing to our children to find out why a substantial number of them, many more than we can afford to have, are going nuts and taking the guns that kids used to shoot squirrels and rabbits with and going hunting their classmates. We need to be taking a look at that. There's the problem right there. And I don't know if it's the drugs they're feeding them. I don't know if it's the fact that we're not putting enough people in mental institutions anymore. I don't know if it's the nature of the school itself. We used to raise our kids in friendly little wooden one-room schoolhouses, and now we're raising them in these giant facilities that look more like prisons than anything else. Maybe that's got something to do with it. Maybe we shouldn't run them in such big herds. Maybe we need to take a more family-based approach to education, maybe a little smaller schools. I don't know the answer. I'm just throwing some ideas out there. But I'm not hearing people talk about those things. I'm hearing them talk about, let's take away more eligibility for guns. When people are young, that's when they become gun owners, okay? It's because of their parents and their grandparents taking them shooting. It's because they share their ideals and their values with them. Folks, we're headed down a really bad road here, and we need to get up and get active. I'm hearing from a lot of people that have frustration with this situation, and a lot of them are frustrated in ways that, to be quite blunt, frighten me. I don't like to hear about people talking about this kind of violence that sometimes we hear. I got some comments posted the other day that they just seem to advocate attacking people, and I couldn't see any reason why a person would feel that way. What we need to be doing is we need to be defending our people. We need to be defending our children. We need to be defending our society from the encroachment of these anti-American institutions, these institutions who are driving us toward a police state. And I think it's time we throw up our hands and say this is a police state now. 97% guilty pleas due to torture in our system through the plea bargain system. Okay, how much higher does it have to be? Does it have to be 100% where everyone pleads guilty? We know through the Innocence Project a very high percentage of these people are not guilty at all. What kind of a system are we going to have when we finally throw up our hands and say, yeah, this is a police state. Yes, they're listening to everyone's phone conversations. Yes, everyone who gets arrested gets convicted. Where's the end point, folks? I'd just like to know. That's what's wrong with the right and the militia now, is that we're not accepting our responsibility. We're not accepting the truth of our situation as it is. We are at the point of tyranny now. We don't have to wait anymore. There's no tripwire that we've set out there that someday someone's going to trip that's any worse than it is now, except that what's eventually going to happen is that we're going to have not the kind of more benevolent tyranny that we've had up to now, but we're going to have someone truly evil who seizes the power. And that's the problem with accumulation of power in a tyrannical government, is sooner or later it falls in the hand of someone who is desperately evil. Now, we've seen evil on a grand scale, but we haven't seen evil like a Pol Pot or a Joseph Stalin or something like that. But trust me, it's coming. And it will come because the power has already been accumulated. The man just has to be put in the right position. So, folks, let's rise up. Let's organize. Give us an email. Let us know. Let's network. Let's get together. Some people are scared. Oh, well, what if we get infiltrated? Yeah, we're going to get infiltrated. You know what? We're going to have snitches. We're going to have infiltrators. We're going to have agents provocateur. You know what? George Washington had them too. But he still won. He had Benedict Arnold. Benedict Arnold was snitching him out to the British, giving up the plans to West Point. It's going to happen. You better believe it's going to happen. But it's not a reason not to do it. Folks, we need revolution today, absolutely. And thank you for your support.